Good morning and welcome to the NBA Daily presented by Amazon Prime for January 5th, 2026. I'm Dave DuFour here with Zena Keita and Baraheni. Coming up, we're going to talk about the Eastern Conference playoff race, which is very interesting right now, and some teams that need to make some trades before the deadline. Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year.
That's right.
S got me.
I had the little thing, yeah.
S got me for once. I like that
I
so
got
much.
you.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Welcome back.
What's up, guys? It's not as if we haven't been talking to each other since.
I was waiting until the right pause to be able to pull that off, so I'm glad it worked out.
Perfectly executed.
That was pretty
much.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Did you guys have a fun little break? I know, Zena, you definitely didn't have any days off.
Yeah, not a break, but it was nice to like chill for a little bit, just to be able to watch games.
Yeah, in sports, it's like a break in quotation marks.
That's right.
Yeah,
right. I mean, well, the nice thing is some of these days, we had games all day long. I mean, early games. I mean, I love it when a game starts at 11 a.m. out here on the West Coast. I got a chance to really like sit and watch so much basketball without having to do shows and to think about what was happening every single night. And the Eastern Conference is pretty competitive right now. And, it's sneaky competitive because we've spent all this time and it feels like our focus has been very much on the West. Obviously, the Thunder, they have this great start. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's the MVP. You've got Jokic, you've got Wemby, you've got LeBron and Luka and the Rockets. They have all this star power. And it feels like the East sort of battle that's happening right now has been going under the radar. We have been talking about the Knicks like they're the best team in the East, guys. And I just don't think I believe that right now.
I mean, after the two losses that they had, it opens up some room for skepticism. I think that's fair. The Hawks getting blown out at MSG and then losing in the way that they did. I don't know. I agree with you that it's a bad stretch for the Knicks, but I still think they're the best team in the East, man. I still think they're the best team in the East.
I disagree with you, S.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've been disagreeing with this like for a while now. And even though they're not number one, they're third in the East. I have been talking about Boston for a while. I've been saying that they are the team that they're just boring enough to trust. And what I mean by boring is that they're consistent. They know what they're trying to do in and out, night in, night out. They don't even have a solid big in that, someone that is dominant in the way that they've had in the year that they won the championships, right? And they're still winning games exactly as you expect them to do. There's something to the Missoula magic.
Yeah.
And I trust that long term.
They have a style of play and on both ends, by the way.
They have an identity on both ends. Exactly.
It's a very good regular season identity. I'll just say that.
But that's what we're talking about right now. I'm not talking about the playoffs yet, although I'm drinking the Jason Tatum Kool-Aid, as everybody knows, if they've been listening in the last couple of weeks.
Of course.
And I think if he comes back and if this team makes some moves and gets a big, which, there are some on the market, Zena, all of a sudden we're talking about the Celtics maybe coming out of the East. But right now they have the third best point differential in the NBA. They're a half a game behind the Knicks. Yeah. The Celtics have been, they are so far outside of their expectation that we had coming into this season. I mean, they're going to blow past. I think Vegas had them at like 41.5 wins before the season. They're going to blow past that. Jaylen Brown's 50-point game the other night, just incredibly efficient game, like talks about how much he's grown as a scorer. He's averaging more points per game this season so far than Jason Tatum ever has in his career. Yeah. And we have always talked about him as this lesser player. It's more of a 1A, 1B.
Supposed to be 1B, exactly.
Yeah.
I think he's getting the opportunity to be that 1A, and he is, and it's perfect timing because when Jason comes back, he doesn't need that pressure to be 1A again.
Yes, exactly.
And it's really nice to have a luxury of a guy that's been the 1B, and that has really, let's just be real, give Jaylen Brown the credit that he deserves, knowing that he's always been capable of this and having the confidence, we know he is very confident, having the confidence to be that 1A guy, and just being okay with, you know what, let them say what they want to say. Let them say and put me in this category of being the 1B guy. And I'm not saying he waited for this moment. No one wanted the injury to Jason Tatum, of course, but as the moment came about, he arose to the occasion.
Yeah.
And I I appreciate the fact that he's been showing up, but particularly this to me sets up a really good playoff situation for Boston Celtics where Jason can cruise a little bit into health before he has to try to take over.
Hey, by the way, like Jaylen Brown has done this in the playoffs before. We're talking about the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP. Like he has taken the Celtics and sort of led them in a major way. Of course, Tatum had great performances during that championship run too, but Brown was the leading scorer. Brown was the guy who, when they needed a bucket, they would go to him. And you're seeing him now with the being at the top of the scouting report, being that guy. I mean, averaging 30 points per game and how efficiently he's doing it, getting to the mid-range bag. These are just stuff that I just didn't expect Jaylen Brown to ever get to, but he looks so comfortable right now. And I'll go a step further. I think he should be on the MVP ballot at this point, just because of how good he's been.
Absolutely. That sounds very familiar, guys.
Zena's there early.
Saying.
Well, let's go one further. Let me add another name. Look, I think Joe Missoula should be the front runner right now for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Again, the job that they've done, the development that they've been able to do to, as you put this eloquently, I thought, they approximated for Jason Tatum somehow.
They are. Look, if you have watched Moneyball, they are trying to get Jason Tatum in the aggregate, which is we need some elite rebounding. Okay, we've got the Hugo Gonzalez's and Jordan Walsh's of the world. Those guys are also very good defenders who can defend at the position Jason Tatum does. They also have 3 really talented scorers on the perimeter between Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, and Derek White. So you don't feel the drop off of missing a guy like Jason Tatum as you would before. And to your point about Missoula ball, I think they've moneyballed this thing because they're still near the top of the league in 3-point attempts, near the top of the league in 3-point percentage. They still play the math game that Missoula likes to play on every single game.
Yep.
And even though they're not that great of a defensive team this year, they're kind of middle of the pack. They are going to score on you no matter the defense. It just doesn't matter. And I think that's to your guys' point earlier, that's the identity that they were talking about.
What if Derek White didn't get a slow start to the season?
Yeah.
You know, maybe we're having a whole different conversation.
Can I just say, look, we said the Knicks and rightfully, very talented team. And we just talked about the Celtics.
I blew right past the Pistons. Okay.
I feel like that's a little unfair.
I'm coming back to the Pistons. Don't worry. Because part of it with the Pistons is, we talked about the Celtics knowing how to win, like they won a title. And with the Pistons, it's just that's it. We haven't seen them do it yet. This is early. It's not that we don't doubt their talent because, man, I watched them just totally handle the Cavs without Jalen Duren on Sunday. And they are a real team.
You saw them come back in that game.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big.
Their interior defense is going to be, I think when we get playoff time, that's serious. Everyone's going to have a hard time with that. So I don't want to just overlook the Pistons, but we've spent a lot of time talking about the Pistons all season. And I think that what we need to see now is like when they get into the big games, like the game against the Cavs, I want to see them win those games too. And we saw them. I think, again, the Cavs have had a weird season this year. The Pistons have been so good. I thought this was a statement game for the Cavs to make. It was a time where, especially down Jalen Duren, I thought the Cavs really needed to win that game, and they just didn't have enough. Credit to the Pistons; they're real good.
Yeah, they're also, like, to your point, I think it's the defense for the Pistons that always keeps them in games, and we saw it with the Thunder last year. How much your defense can kind of help you, cream at the top, whatever you want to get to that higher level, if you will. That's what the Pistons are able to do because they wall off the paint. Isaiah Stewart has been phenomenal. He just won Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month. Like he's getting rewarded for that too. I think what they provide defensively will give them that margin to be able to win on the offensive end. There are valid questions with the Pistons when you think about playoff time, like who is going to score the ball outside of Cade Cunningham? Do they have enough offensive firepower outside of him? I think that's a valid question. But
they had that identity, though, which is so crucial to regular season.
100%,
and I think that's what we're seeing a lot of.
Yeah, I agree.
There's something to be said, though, about defense wins championships. And they've got dogs.
Yeah.
They've got dogs on the perimeter. And as you laid out, that second layer of defense is huge. I struggle with, even though defense wins championships, you do need to score a lot of points in the playoffs. When someone has a chance to scout you for 7 games, if it gets to that, but at least, those games in a row, at some point, Cade Cunningham's going to have to find some other way to impact the game. And I don't know if he has quite the gravity of some of these big stars that it can open so much else for other folks. Like, I don't know if he warrants that level of attention from a defensive perspective, but
it's kind of a love triangle at the top of the Eastern Conference, because I would say the Celtics are a favorable, like the Celtics can beat the Detroit Pistons. They, with their offensive firepower, can beat what they provide. The Pistons are a really good matchup for the New York Knicks, and the Pistons can handle the Knicks with what they provide. But the Knicks are also a team that in the past has beat the Celtics. And so there's sort of this like A greater than B greater than C type of thing going on. Which will make for some really good playoff games.
Well, let's swing to the middle of the pack. The Raptors, the Sixers. I'll get to the Magic last in that group, just because they've had, to me, like, it's an up and down season because of injuries, but also it's disappointing. Like, you got to win.
Yeah.
But the Raptors and the Sixers, I don't think anyone takes either of these teams seriously, considering they're the 4 and 5
for a championship contention. Absolutely not.
They are not contenders in any way. The Raptors, I mean, I'll let you just tee off here. I mean, this is a team that they should be able to win regular season games. It's all about the offense, though.
Yeah, for sure. It's about keeping themselves afloat offensively, and I think the health of Jakub Poeltl is a big part of that. Of course, he provides so much defensively, but if he can stay healthy for the second half of the season, that'll shift so much of what Emmanuel Quickley can do and RJ Barrett can do off of those screen assists. Jakub is near the top of the league when it comes to screen assists, so his health is a major part here. To me, I think the Raptors are in play to maybe make a trade here. Like maybe they feel confident that they can get into that next tier. So they're going to try to take a swing on maybe an Anthony Davis, maybe a LaMelo Ball, maybe a Trae Young. Who knows?
Wait, LaMelo Ball? I hadn't heard that name. Wow. Okay, that would be.
It would be a little wild.
6-6 now. Is that what's going to happen up there?
Yeah, why not?
Zena, look, we talk about the Raptors a lot because obviously but also like Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram, like they have guys that you can put. They can take the team on their back. At least Brandon Ingram can offensively.
Yeah.
It's just, can they score enough to win and get home court advantage, right? Can they be the 4 seed in the East is really what I think that they're playing for.
My thing is, you're absolutely right. They got guys. Can they score enough? We've seen the last 5 games. They've dropped. I mean, they were top 10. And then with absences, Jakub Poeltl, we've seen, RJ Barrett come back in. But even with his absence, their offense dropped significantly to the bottom third. I'm more so concerned their bench. Like, they got no backup. If you're not playing Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett when he's, back healthy fully, if you're not playing those guys 40 or more minutes a night, you're not getting much out of their backup options on the bench. And I don't know if there was something to that. When you said making a move, Dave, I thought you meant like getting a move to just get some
more depth.
Get some guys.
Depth.
Yeah.
They need some guys. Like, I wouldn't even say, their starting lineup, I love how they've clicked this year. I love how quickly they've taken to everyone's role out on offense, and Brandon Ingram has fit into that puzzle.
Quickly.
Yeah, except for IQ.
The point guard position is something. The point guard position is absolutely something for the Raptors to figure out. But they have no depth. And I think that's the biggest thing that's going to take them out of the playoffs very early.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up. By the way, you guys keep saying guys. You guys don't know this, but it's a major thing in Toronto. There's like a Drake. He was on a show and he was like, you got guys, but I got guys, and that's sorry. Anyways, I just had to mention that because every time you guys said it, I'm thinking of that clip. So, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. How about the Sixers?
We got to find that clip now. But
go sell that one. The Sixers are another team, kind of like the Celtics, that are surprising. I mean, some of this is they had a great start to the year.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey is taking a leap. VJ Edgecombe comes in as a rookie, has been great. But Joel Embiid the last month's been pretty good. Pretty good. And what he and Maxey were able to do in the pick and roll to the Knicks the other day, eye-opening because I didn't know Embiid was like, look, he's still not moving like he was his MVP year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Zena, every single game, it feels like there's a couple plays where we're texting each other saying, oh yeah, I'm old now. I move like that. But he looks very healthy. Obviously the jumper looks good. Like he's scoring pretty efficiently. We don't see the Sixers as contenders, do we? Right? Like they don't have that kind of ceiling.
Look,
I'm just saying.
Look, hold on now. Wait, I feel like me and us put our hands up real quick.
Listen, talent-wise, they have talent.
Exactly.
And it's the health.
I also think the fact that Tyrese Maxey has become a 30-point per game scorer, and probably along with Jaylen Brown should be thrust into the MVP conversation, that has allowed them to alleviate some pressure off of Joel Embiid. So while Embiid is averaging 28, 10, and 5 over the last 5 games, and by the way, the big number for Embiid is the fact that he's averaging 33 minutes over the last 5 games that he's played. The fact that he's available is a huge part here. But there's less pressure on Embiid to be Embiid because they have Maxey, because they have VJ Edgecombe, because Paul George has been more healthy. So overall, they have the talent. And in a playoff series, all right, let's talk about it right now. If it's Raptors Sixers in a playoff series, who are you taking? I would probably.
Oh man, I'm taking the Sixers.
Yes, I'm taking the Sixers as well, just because of sheer talent and offensive talent, specifically when it comes to Maxey, who, by the way, Raptors fans will know this, is a Raptor killer. Like, he averages probably 30 against those guys consistently. That's just a matchup that's very favorable. You go down the list here. How many series could Tyrese Maxey potentially be the best player in a series? Can he be that against the Celtics? I would say he can.
Theoretically, yeah.
I would say he can. Can he be that against the Pistons? I would say he can.
Yeah.
I think he could. Maybe not against the Knicks. I think that's where Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns have something to say about that. But there's a chance. There's a chance for the Sixers.
But the fact of the matter is, I think that Knicks game told us a lot. VJ Edgecombe dropping 26 in that game. Nothing that VJ Edgecombe has done this season for me has really been surprising, especially after we saw that first game of the season.
Yeah.
But that is significant that you can get that much out of your rookie against New York Knicks, who have really, they've worked on their defense, right? It's really the offense that has been so magical this year, but they've been working on their defense. They've been a defensive team. And there was no stopping VJ Edgecombe getting into the teeth of defense, getting to his spots, being able to pull up, using his speed, just blowing by folks. I am looking at that Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George, threesome specifically. They haven't played more than 200 minutes this year, right? They've just gotten together, and you're already seeing Paul George putting up triple-double role player numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
They don't need him to be Paul George star. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So triple-double role player numbers, imagine that gets into 400 minutes together.
Yeah.
Right? By the time you get to the time of the season where this matters, you've got folks that have been in these positions that knows what it takes to win in Joel Embiid and Paul George, leading the way alongside a Tyrese Maxey, who's just been this prince for them. You take it away,
they got a lot of guys.
And they have a lot of guys. And by the way, Edgecombe has been one of the best clutch players in the league as a rookie, which is absurd to think of that he delivers in those moments.
What did he have in that fourth quarter? Let me see.
Yeah, he was absurd in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And overall,
he hit a game winner last week. I
will just say this, right? If you're the Sixers, or if you're a Sixers fan, would you be shocked for them to be in a second round playoff series with a couple of games to go to potentially make it to the conference finals? Would that shock you?
At this point, no.
It would
because
not.
The rest of the East, and I'm going to get to let's get to the bottom part of the playoff race here, the 6-7. Cavs and Magic. Two teams that have just been disappointing this year. I mean, we talked about the Cavs a lot. With the Magic, it's been a lot of injury stuff.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than that. I mean, even just the way that they've played when they've been fully healthy, the very small amounts of time, or mostly healthy, I should say, it's not very inspiring. They're not this team that looks like it's ascending. They look like they're kind of stuck in the middle.
I'm very curious to see how they look when both Paolo and Franz are playing together again. And who knows how long Jalen Suggs is going to be out for. That's a huge question moving forward. We've talked about how important he is as sort of the heartbeat of this Magic team. But all we've talked about with the Magic overall this season is being more inventive offensively, because I think they have the defensive talent that can keep them in games overall. They have a relative amount of depth. Anthony Black has blossomed in a major way this season, which is a really big sign for them. But overall, they need to be inventive offensively. They need to set up their guys to be guys as being the major thing here in this episode. But they need to set up their guys to thrive offensively, for Paolo Banchero not to be handed grenades in shot clock situations where there's 5 seconds left.
Well,
and he has
Zena,
to take a shot, right?
we compared it to Willie Green the other day, and it's very similar, right? Like you have the talent, and yes, you're dealing with injuries, but also where's the system?
Yeah. There's just too much inconsistency to build a system, though. Like if you don't know the tools and the cogs of the system that you're trying to set up night in, night out, it's been so unfair for Jamal Mosley because he's now had to do this 2 seasons in a row. And I think that 6-7, where they're ranking in the Eastern Conference is what it is. But I think when we say the words of like why this feels disappointing is because they were able to withstand this last season. Yeah. Right. They were still able to be in the top parts of the Eastern Conference at parts of the season, despite the fact that they had these injuries. And so it feels as if like, why can't you do it again? Why can't you find that resilience again? And you should find it even easier because you have Desmond Bane. But it's just been, what's been the weirdest thing, and we got to put it out there, we've talked about it before, is that somehow this team isn't better when Paolo and Franz are together. Yeah. And that is the weird thing. It was supposed to be those two cook, and we saw them cook last season. Even though, yes, they got swept, they put up some serious numbers in that first round of the playoffs. And you saw the potential there. And it was like, they just need someone to kick out to. And the person that came in to be kicked out to has now become this slasher, has now become this like microwave scorer, and that he creates his own shot in Desmond Bane. We knew he could do that, but that wasn't what he was supposed to come to do. And so now it's like, you've got all these tools of a system, but people are having to play in different roles and than you anticipate because of the inconsistencies of lineup. And that's tough. I don't know what to make of the Orlando Magic. I struggle to say disappointed. I just feel like it's been underwhelming.
Can we make a pick here right now, January, whatever it is? Can we make a pick who's coming out of the East?
I think I've made my pick.
I don't know.
You're picking the Celtics.
Well, okay. I don't have enough info on the future to pick the Celtics because for me, it's about Tatum coming back. It's about them making a move. Okay. But as is right
coming
now,
out the East,
the team I trust the most to come out of the East right now would be the Knicks.
New York.
Okay,
right?
We're all on the same page then.
I think we're on the same page there.
But that's playoff talk.
I think it's Boston they're meeting up with to make that decision.
Listen, again, the best story right now happening in basketball is that the Boston Celtics, we all thought they were going to be bad, and they're still good somehow. And Jaylen Brown looks like an MVP. I think it's a lot of fun. If you were going to predict the top 4 seeds, okay, how do you think it shakes out? Is it as it stands, Detroit, New York, Boston, Toronto, or does someone else sneak into that top 4?
Toronto's second half schedule is tough. I will say.
Yeah, I don't think Toronto's going to be able to withstand.
Maybe Orlando gets healthy.
I was going to say the Cavs. I think the Cavs will figure it out. I think the Cavs will get back to the top 4. And I would probably say the Pistons stay number 1. The Knicks and Celtics battle it out for 2, and the Cavs end up 4th. That's my pick.
I'm not against it.
I'm going to choose Pistons, Knicks, Celtics, Sixers.
I like it. I actually like it.
The belief is there.
The belief is there.
I see it.
We believe Sixers.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for our show. Thank you for listening. If you want to join our Discord, it's the link is in the show description. Go and follow our YouTube channel. We do our live shoot around every Wednesday morning there that we put out on the podcast feed. And wherever you listen to this podcast, kick off the new year with a nice 5-star review for your friends here at the NBA Daily. For Zena Keita and Baraheni, I'm Dave DuFour, and this has been the NBA Daily. Thank you for listening.